Legion Tactical Cutlery.
Hold the line!
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Gruggs here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back, troops, Legionnaires, and any new recruits. All right, I got something really awesome for you today. The Fintiso Odyssey in 14C 28N. I want to put it to the test. Let's check it out. Troops, what are you carrying today? Well, I am out at the secondary outpost, and as a primary blade, I am carrying my F&Grow EF 148 camp knife. What are you all carrying? Veterans, active military, pretty nice flipper folder, man. Great materials, can't go wrong. Just want to say thank you very much for your service. We do appreciate you. Let's do it. Let's go over the quick specs. Once again, this is the Fintiso Odyssey. Overall length, 7.8 inch. Blade length, 3.3 inch. Blade steel, 14C 28N drop point. Blade hardness is 60 to 62 HRC. Blade thickness is 0.47 inch. Blade width, 1.1 inch. Blade lock is a liner. Handle length is 4.5 inch. Handle thickness is 0.12 inch. Handle material is a green G10. Weight is 3.66 ounce. It features a flipper, dual thumb studs, pocket clip, and a lanyard hole. Now look, go check out their website. They got a ton of knives over there with better visuals and information. Go check it out. You got nothing to lose. Let's do a close-up, man. I am digging this blade. It flips open real nice. Detent closes real well. Now that we got that out of the way, let's look at this awesome drop point blade. Check that out, man. Fit and finish is top-notch on this company's folders, man. And they're going to be coming out with a fixed blade soon, and I'm pretty excited. Slight sharpening choil. The flipper also acts as a guard. Dual thumb studs, some slight jimping. You know, I was hoping that this is a little bit sharper. I'm hoping this is going to scrape a ferro rod and some fat wood. We're going to see. Beautifully contoured G10 handles with finger grooves. Even the liner lock itself mechanism is nicely milled out for comfort. Stainless steel liners that are skeletonized. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that here, but if you go check out my Legion premiere on this knife, you will definitely see and get a little bit more detail on this knife. Nice little Fintiso logo as the pivot point over here. Here's the opposite side. Very small logos and lettering, and I kind of like their logos. I think it's pretty cool. All right, it does have a capability for a lanyard, so it does come with a lanyard hole, and it has this I'm not sure if that's G10 or just some kind of plastic, but it's a spacer and it works. Okay, and if you take a close look, this particular liner is engaged about 50%. I'm sure as I'm using it, it's going to loosen up and break in a little bit. However, this is a nice looking knife. Now, holding it is a pleasure. Okay, so far so good with holding it in different configurations and reverse and forward grip. Feels good. So if this is what you've got to take out into the field to butcher an animal, this will do the job. It's got that awesome point. It's going to take care of business for you. Now we're going to do some slight work for the outdoors. I don't have any food, you know, or any kind of meats to cut up. So whatever we can do on, you know, for the outdoors will be fantastic. So let's get to work with this knife. Since I've been coming to the secondary outpost, I have been enjoying using my gloves, and I kind of want to try using my gloves here with this folder, which actually feels kind of good, you know. The hot spot of the clip is lessened, you know, with these awesome thick gloves. I want everybody to know that I do have a saw in this scenario, okay? But for the time being, I'm going to put this away, and we're going to test out just cutting a piece of this branch with this folder. Okay, so let's say, you know, you have a big branch and you need to cut it up into smaller pieces for feather sticks or for your firebox stove. Let's start digging in. Because the piece you pick up might be a little bit thicker and you can't snap it or break it. Again, just theoretical. And you should be able to use this knife, this pocket knife, to just dig in and help you, break the branch. And you can see it's digging in real nice. I got to say, you could definitely feel that clip there. So I'm kind of glad that I do have the gloves. Now, obviously, I have the saw, but let's just say you're lazy and you left it in your backpack. I mean, come on. Some of you have done that, where you get lazy and you just don't go back and go get your tool. Well, the next best thing is you got something right on your pocket, and you could just take it out and start using it. All right? I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you use your thumb. I don't care if you're using your whole palm. I am just showing you an example of this knife in the outdoors. It's a nice thin blade, so it's going to make some nice feathers. And, I got some wood all prepared. We're going to test it out. All right, you could see she's carving up this piece of wood. And you saw me using my thumb. Get rid of that little knot over there. Oh yeah, that liner is now engaged way more. I knew it needed a little bit of a break-in. You could see now is making a nice point over here to break the stick. Now I have no illusions, troops. I know you could probably have put this up against a stump and break it with your with your foot or something. But what if you're hiking, and you don't have a stump easily available? In any case, this is a channel that tests out knives, so I'm sure there's a lot of scenarios you could prove me wrong, and that's all fine and good. But just showing you, giving you an example how good these knives are, and there you go. All right, and you might have the start of a tent stake here or whatever, but again, just an example of a possibility of a liner lock flipper folder from Fintiso. Okay, whoop, nice leaf over there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece with my saw, and then we're going to do a little batoning or some push cuts to make some feather sticks. So give me a second, I'll set it up. All right, let's try a little batoning. What I'm going to do is give a little bit of an angle over here, and then just do some, and by the way, I took off my gloves, just some slight batoning. I just want to start it, okay? So this way you don't damage the flipper, you don't damage the back bar or whatever, and then I could use the sharpness of the blade, okay, to cut right through. All right, and we're going to make some feather sticks out of this. So hopefully this is a smarter way of doing it for some of you out there. All right, and you don't get upset. But I think this is pretty fair to use without damaging your folder. I think it's pretty smart. There you go. All right, and then Let me just take off this bark. All right, so you made pieces for your firebox stove. Yes, I love firebox stoves. I gotta bring it. But in any case, you can make individual curls and make a big pile. Look how sharp that is, man. Just a small example, just a small demonstration, okay? No wobble, no play, right? Using it smart for the batoning. I've seen other content creators do it, and it does make sense. And as you can still see, sharp. Look at that. Ooh-wee, brother. Perfect little handy tool to have as a backup for, well, that effing grow that I'm carrying right now, man. You know, get to the finer work with this. Look how nice that is. It's 14C 28N steel. It's good steel. It's from Sweden. Can't go wrong. Okay? And it looks like the manufacturer's got the heat treat done right. And I think we're looking good. Again, just a small example of what this can do. And you know what? Let me just do a little tip test, yeah? Let's see. I think this is even fair for a folder, making a divot. Okay, I'm using the tip to help with the pivoting and widening of the divot, although I'm sure some of you are going to say you don't need to do that. That's fine. It's a channel that tests out knives. Okay. And I know that the 14C 28N steel is pretty good, man. However, you always got to take care, you know, with the tip. It's a matter of, you know, feeling of what you could do also. Right? Because you don't want to bust your tip on purpose. You know, you want to use it smart, man. I think that this is a smart way to use it. And then you could, you know, I don't know, whatever it is that you do, you bushcrafters do, you advanced guys. I'm trying to learn this myself, this fire stuff, friction fire, learning slowly but surely. You know, I'm going to take an hour out of my day when I can to practice. But again, just a quick example of this folder. Again, no blade play. Right, that didn't close on my fingers. All right, we're looking good. In fact, you know what? Now I have this. Let me get another piece. I'll make a tent stake. Okay. Just so you know, I did use my saw to cut this little piece. So here it is. I do have a saw and an axe with me all the time. However, again, this is a channel that tests out knives. So let's make a tent stake. Decent size. Again, you know, the finer work. I know this is just a tent stake. I understand it's easy. Make, you know, make a tri-stick or something. But again, I'm just giving you a small demonstration of some possibilities with this liner lock folder flipper from Fintiso, okay? I mean, people whittle and quote unquote bushcraft with slip joints. So you know, make a dowel, make a tent stake. I don't know, whatever it is that you guys do in the advanced stages of bushcrafting. But again, I usually do the basics to give you an idea how the knife is going to perform. So here you could either make a dowel or, you know, tap in your tent stake. Notching. Okay, I'm pressing pretty hard here. Looking good. Straight. Opens good. Closes good. No gloves, so it's not so bad doing something this small. The blade is nice and thin, so you can get a little bit more detailed. All right. Now, you know, you could always take this off and purchase a sheath for it, you know, that snaps closed. There's nobody saying that you can't do that. You don't have to have it in your pocket, or so this way you don't get that hot spot. You know, you're a hiker and you're a minimalist and you just want to take a folder with you and maybe that saw, you know, might be all you need. Again, scenarios, different scenarios out there. I'm sure that these scenarios have happened. Okay, but there you go. Okay, using that front part to get more specific and a deeper notch. There you go, man. That's excellent. Okay. Let's get rid of the bark here. And I mean, one thing you could make while you're out on the trail, instead of worrying about a fork, make chopsticks. You know, grab 2 thin pieces of sticks, get rid of the bark. You got 2 chopsticks that you could eat your food with. You know, you don't have to sit there and make a fork, especially if you don't have the time and you're on, you know, you're on those trails. Right, and you could just whittle this all the way down to chopstick size. Well, what I'm going to do, right, for the tent stake, is make that point. There you go. We're good to go here, man. Or, you know, if you're a primitive hunter, I've seen some guy on YouTube. He has, I don't know, some homemade knife, you know, nothing fancy. And he's making all these primitive traps with some paracord and you know, using nature, the spring of the sapling trees to make traps. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's got his knife, and you know, if you're a primitive hunter, you're a minimalist, there you go, man. How can you go wrong? That's pretty nice. Let's check out the spine. I'm kind of curious, right? I've got this big blade, so you know, it's instead of using that to scrape some fat wood or some fluff from regular wood, I figure maybe your folder can do it. Why not? You know, let's see. Let's see how this works out. The spine, not too good. It is, I have to be fair, it is rounded off. Okay, I kind of knew that, but I always want to test, you know, because sometimes it has surprised me. Let me try by the jimping area. Well, that's the jimping area. So, I mean, it's very slight. It's not very efficient. It's really minimal. That's too bad. However, and I'll always say this, if you have some talent, you know, you could use a belt sander, sharpen that up a little bit. But as of right now, man, it's not enough. It's not really doing much. I mean, you'd have to really work on it, and I'm pressing down right now, and the liner lock is holding up, which is great. That's great news. Yeah, but it's so minimal. It's basically nothing here. So let's just try. I'm kind of curious. The fat wood. But, you know, don't despair, man. I mean, hey, if it doesn't work, then, you know, you start making these little things right here. You get them into a little pile. The only issue I have now is if it's going to spark a ferro rod or not. We're going to test it out anyway. I don't see any place else on this knife that I could do it with. So let's try out the fat wood. I am curious to see, maybe because the fat wood is a little bit harder, I can get something. Not really. Not really. The only thing I could say about this is you're going to have to work at it. To get a little pile. But again, it might just be enough, you know, to start something up. Or if you have no choice, you know, I mean, you're out on the trail and you need to light something. Looks like you could do it, but worst comes to worst, you just scrape with your blade, and it shouldn't cause any trouble with your blade whatsoever. You can see it's making those shavings, and there's your little pile right there. And right, still sharp, even if you have to make the fluff with this. Let me see if it'll do it with the wood. Absolutely better than nothing right here, okay? And it looks like these real small shavings, you know, but this is another good test for that liner lock, right? Better than the spine. Okay, now my only concern now is the ferro rod. So I'm obviously, unless it was dire situation, you know, actually let me make sure that this is still sharp. Yeah, okay. So using the blade isn't gonna, you know, with wood isn't gonna cause any problems with sharpness. And you can see how nice and thin I'm making them, even though I used it to scrape, okay? And it was only a small portion of it, so let me scrape just a little bit more so we can get just a tiny little blaze up if the spine will handle it. Okay, nothing too big. Let's see, okay. Nope, whoa, this came off, wow. That's a bummer. But nothing's happening, not even by the jimping area. Oh, very slight by the jimping area, but nothing significant, unfortunately. That's too bad. But not a deal breaker, man. It's just not a deal breaker, you know. I put some crazy glue. It didn't work in here, so let me know in the comments below what I could put over here to tighten this up, okay? Because that's a bummer. I can't even. Now there's really no place on this knife. Let me try. Listen, you know, desperate times. Nope, not even the pocket clip is doing any kind of sparking. Nope. Well, that's the only flaw that I see with this knife so far, but everything else is pretty sharp. I mean, it'll do a lot of the prep work for you. You just got to get, you know, just got to make you have something to scrape with the ferro rod with, but still pretty good knife in my opinion, man. And Even with holding it very, very hard in the hand, scraping, everything is straight. It flips open just fine. Okay, so unfortunate, but what are you going to do? So if you're in a camp environment and you're capable of bringing, a large amount of resources, let's say in a cart of some sort, because I could easily put beers, coolers, backpack, everything I need in one of those wheeling beach carts and wheel it to this area. I'm only 15 minutes away. This will come in handy after maybe doing some cleanup or breaking up some stuff. Also giving you an example of what's possibilities at work or first responders. So I got a bunch of material here that are possible camp uses. If you're drinking, let's say, beers or water or seltzer or sodas, and you need to break down the cardboard, easy enough to do. All right, sharp. It'll go through cardboard like butter. All right. Another awesome use is these twist ties for the campsite. I think that these will work big time. And let me just double this up a little bit. So, instead of using guidelines or whatever, just again, scenarios. You like to use these, because I have used these, and now you're breaking down, easy to cut. Okay, let's put that down. Some rope. We do little push cuts of the rope. All right, there we go. Easy. Some seatbelt material for first responder. You have this in your pocket. You could easily use this for a campsite environment too. It goes through like butter. Do you need to use the point to get more specific? I don't want to get in the way of the camera, but you see, I use the point to split this up. You need a tourniquet or whatever. Again, scenario that you could use the point to get the job done, or cut a seatbelt. All right, paracord. Once again, you want a nice clean cut. Push it right down. Right, light up a lighter. Close this up. Now this paracord is pretty thick, but it goes through real easy. Okay. Last but not least, I have some drawstring. This is from, I grabbed this out of a laundry bag. Still pretty sturdy. It's tough stuff that could be used to tie things, at a campsite. It just comes right apart. Easy. There you have it, troops. Just a small example, small demonstration of the capabilities of the Fintiso Odyssey. Okay, it definitely could be used for work, a work environment, no problem. But capable in the outdoors also. Again, the only small issue was the spine wasn't sharp. There's other ways around that. There we have it, the Fintiso Odyssey in 14C 28N steel, man. Knife did pretty well. I mean, except for that spine, but I don't think it's a big deal. However, you could see what it did right in front of you, man. It did some outdoor tasks. It definitely did some camp tasks. No doubt in my mind that this could quarter game, small game, fish, larger game even. The knife is still sharp. 14C28N is easy to sharpen. It's a damn good steel. Fintiso is using some great materials. You can't go wrong with Fintiso. Now make sure you go check out their website, because they got a lot more models. Also got 2 other videos that I done some testing with their Fintiso folders. Go check them out, man. They are a contender, this company. All right, troops, legionnaires, new recruits, as always, thank you very much for taking the time to check out my videos and my channel. Really appreciate it. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe. I want to bring awareness to everybody. #22 a day. #22 a day no more to our veterans and active military. wants to get out of the service, they do face a lot of challenges. And unfortunately, one of these challenges is suicide. So at the end of this video, pause on the slides, call those phone numbers, surf those websites. If you know somebody who's hurting, go talk to them, give them this information. There's also a heartfelt message from one of your own, Martin Miller, Vietnam veteran. Please seek the help you all have earned and deserve. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, combine this with a saw and axe, man. You are good to go. At the ready, troops, hold the line. Take care.
Legionnaires!